We've done our warm-up exercises. We've looked at all the parts of our body we need that's going to help us scrummage, okay? Next thing is to work on, which is phase one, okay? This is all about getting you in the right shape and strengthening your body before you enter the scrum. So if we think back to all those warm-up exercises and the shape we finished in, what I want us to do is to go through that process and find what we call that pre-engagement scrum shape, okay? So you guys go through that process. Remember how we did it? Feet, knees, don't lean too far forward, okay? It's just coming from there. We tighten that area up, okay? And then we put the scaps on. What we don't want you doing is leaning forward like that beforehand, okay? We take the height from our legs, okay? And then we go into that squat and then lean forward from the chest, head in neutral. Good. Okay, come up again. Just move back a bit. You two move back a bit. You two move this way a bit. Okay, give yourself a bit of space. Okay, same thing again. Okay, go through the same principle again. Repetition is key with this. We've got to get the muscle memory ready for you guys, okay? So go through that same principle again. Find that height and lean forward. Okay, head in neutral. Look through your eyebrows. Excellent. And up we come again. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to do it in twos. Okay, one of you is going to adopt that position. The next person is going to give them a little bit of a nudge. Because if you think when we go down into a scrum, particularly if you're in the front row or the second row, you'll adopt that strong position, and then a second row might come in from behind, a flanker might come in behind, and you lose that shape. So it's really important that you're stable under your own supervision, okay? That you're not resting on the hooker or sitting on the flanker or sitting back on the second row. So you go first, you push him, okay? So go through the same principle again, okay? Down we go, head in neutral, and give him a nudge from all different directions, that's it. Okay, don't be shy, you can give him quite a big nudge on this, okay? Pull your scaps on, pull your scaps back on, good. Keep the head in neutral, and stop, okay? The important thing, lads, is when you're doing this, okay, particularly when you're pushing another teammate around, is to tell him to look for the different things. If you see his hips starting to go, tell him to get that pelvic tilt. If you see his chest starting to go, tell him to squeeze on those shoulder blades again. If you see his head coming out of neutral, tell him his head's coming out of neutral. So feed back to each other, okay? Don't just rely on the coaches. You guys can feed that back to each other. Okay, swap round, do the different roles, okay? So same principle again. We always start with our feet and go through the same principle every time. Okay, that's it. Lean forward, good. Okay, now give them a bit of a nudge. That's it. Don't be afraid to hit them from different directions, because if you think of it as scrum, okay, it's good. Get those scaps back on, that's better. That's it, excellent. Nudge them around a bit. Okay, good, and change again, change back over. Okay, don't rush the process each time you go through it, okay? Just take your time to get into the right position, switching everything on, okay? That's it. Head in neutral, good. That's it, excellent, okay? Don't be afraid to knock him from different areas, okay? Think of a second row coming from behind. Is he stable? Yeah? Get those shoulder blades back on. That's it, good.
Bit tight shoulder blades.
That's it, excellent, well done. Good, good. Give him a little bit of a nudge, don't be shy, yeah? You can give him a bit of a push. Okay, stop there, well done, okay? So if you can see that, lads, even there, just by doing that, how many of us were sort of overbalancing and losing our shape? Most of us, yeah? So if you think about, if you can do that really well, you think when you get into a scrum and you're in that strong position, if your second row nudges you and you can hold that position, when you engage in the scrum, you're already going to be in that strong shape. Knocked about, okay? Next part of it is after we've moved around, okay? Because you think you've done a phase, you've done several phases, the ball gets knocked on, and there's a scrum. So we're looking for the same thing again. You're going to have the ball amongst you in a group of 4, okay? You're going to pop the ball around. When I whistle, I want you to get into that scrum shape. What I don't want you to do is rush it, okay? When I blow the whistle, I don't want you to just go, I'm in the scrum shape, look at me. What I want you to do is think of that process. Every time we do it, we're looking for those trigger points, the feet, the knees, the head, the hips, the scaps, the squat, the lean forward, okay? You understand the drill? Okay. Stay at the front of the grid, that's it, pop it around. Good, okay, take your time, go through the process. That's it. Good, keep those heads in neutral, don't let them come up. That's it, bit more of a pelvic tilt, squeeze those scaps on, get those elbows in like that, good, excellent. Nice and stable. Let's have a look at you here. Good. Keep that rigid in the core. That's it. Much better. Let's have a look over here. Bit more of a pelvic tilt for me. Bit more of a bend in your knees. Pelvic tilt again. Good work. Let's have a look at you there. Give me that slight pelvic tilt. That's it. Head in neutral. Good. Excellent. Okay, up you come. Right. Pass me the ball. Okay, we'll move on to the next drill. So if two of you face me there, and then two of you face me, sort of come over here a little bit over there. Okay? Right. Okay, so the idea of that drill is when we're doing it is to think about moving around, okay? Next drill we're going to look at is putting it under a bit more fatigue. So what I want us to do is to get onto all fours, okay? On our hands and knees, okay? Same principle, the feet are shoulder width apart, the head's in neutral, okay? Slight pelvic tilt, not too much, just a slight pull in the core, bring your feet back a little bit, okay? Now what I want you to do is when I say go, is to go up onto your feet, okay? Okay, ready? Okay, go. That's it. Making sure our bum doesn't come up, drop our bum down. That's it, keep our head in neutral. Keep our knees off the floor. And we hold that for 10 seconds, okay? By doing this, we're reinforcing and strengthening those important areas like the head in neutral, the pelvic tilt, squeeze your scaps, good. Same with you, and we're putting under fatigue, okay? And release it back onto your knees, okay? Stay in that position, and we're gonna repeat this 3 times. Hold it for 20 seconds, down for 20 seconds, okay? And the focus is on those key areas, making sure our feet don't come in narrow, making sure our pelvis is always on tight, our scaps are locked in, and our head doesn't come out neutral, okay? Find all those positions, and up on your feet. Good, hold it there, that's it, good. If you feel it going, pull those scaps in. It's a bit like when you're under pressure in the scrum. There's certain things you can do. Pulling the scaps in, pulling your pelvis in, keeping that head in neutral. And down. Good, okay? And one more time, okay? And as you get better at it, you can do it for longer and do more repetitions, okay? This is gonna help you massively when you're under pressure in the scrum, okay? Really good strength and exercise. Okay, so same thing again. Up on your feet. Don't let your feet get too narrow, okay? Perfect, that's it. Okay, we want to be in that pushing position. Good, squeeze those scaps on. Yeah, that's it, excellent. Really good, head in neutral, Perfect, yeah, that's it, much better. And down we go. Okay, so we're just going to have a progression of that same exercise. Okay, so we're looking to make sure that we can maintain that scrummaging position before we engage the scrum. Even though we're on all fours, it's basically taking that starting scrummaging position and just moving it that way. You're firing up the exact same muscle, so this is going to get you more rigid and a stronger position before you engage the scrum and when you engage the scrum. So if one of you can kneel facing the ball, and one here, kneel facing the ball. So it's exactly the same as what we did before, but this time you're going to be balancing on the ball, which is going to make it a little bit harder. So you're going to have to really focus those key areas. Okay, so get that distance, okay, get your knees back. Okay. Just think of that process, feet, bring your feet back a touch, okay? You want to make sure your knees aren't underneath your hips, so bring it back, that's it. Bring your knees back so they're not under your hips. Slight bend in your arms. Okay, now come up onto your feet. Okay, so get those scaps on, that's it, good. Okay, and we hold it there for 10 seconds. Good, excellent, excellent, hold it there a bit longer, and down. Okay, next player in. So it's the same principle, okay? We're getting ourselves strong and rigid in that pre-scrummaging position. Okay, so go through the whole principle every time. So feet, knees, scaps. Okay, now come up onto your feet. That's it. Tighten up a little bit, tighten up a little bit. No, not too much of dip, that's it. That's the dip we're looking for. Nice and strong in there. Scaps on. That's it, good. Knees are a little bit long, bring your feet up. That's it. Now if you pull your scaps on, now squeeze my hand with your shoulder blades. Bend your arms a bit. That's it. Now bring your knees under your body a touch more. That's it, good. Head in neutral, always feeding back to you. So same exercise, but what we're going to do is put it under a bit more pressure. You know how when we're standing with a standing scrum shape, we're giving them a bit of a nudge? Same principle now. When they're up on that ball, you give them a bit of a nudge. But what we don't want to do this time, we only want to give them a slight nudge, and then we want the player to correct themselves. There's no point if you go up on the ball, me just knocking him and knocking him and knocking him and knocking him until he loses that shape. What we want to do is we want to replicate the scrum situation. So he gets up, same principle. If I do give him a bit of a knock and he comes out of shape, he refines it. Perfect, excellent. Let him refine that shape. If you're not sure, if he's not sure, you can coach that back to him, whether it's the pelvic, the scaps, the knees. Okay, come up, you give me claps there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Give them a little nudge and allow them to correct themselves. Really important that you guys as players, if you do get out of shape, that you know how to re-correct yourself. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, so same principle, always the process, always the process. Okay? Yep. Ready? Okay, up you go. Switch everything on. That's it. Now give them a little bit of a nudge. Okay, that's it. Yep, perfect. That's it. Oh, it's quite hard on in there. That's it. Good. That's it. Refine that shape. Excellent. Give them another nudge. Okay. So the next part is just a continuation of that drill of getting ourselves strong into that pre-engagement position. Even though now we're going to be doing some push-in, but the thing we're looking for is putting that position under fatigue and regathering it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to push these tackle shields. So it's the same shape, same process with our hands on the shield, and we're looking to squeeze our body, get that tension in our core, and take a couple of steps, refine that shape, couple of steps, refine that shape, couple of steps. Okay, the key thing what we've got to look for here, because this is going to help us lead on to phase 2, is our foot pattern is the big thing I'm going to be looking at for. Okay, because hopefully by now we've got the understanding and the principle of what should be going along in this part of our body, but particularly when we're in a scrum, it's what happens with our feet and our foot pattern that can sometimes let us down. What happens generally when we get tired, we'll either try and overstretch. Okay, and if I finish in that position, if someone pushes against me, I'm all over the place. So we're looking for those short steps and to finish in that strong position. Also the width of our feet. Okay, what we've got to make sure is as we get tired, this doesn't happen and our feet start to go in. Because once again, if you look at me now, my center of gravity, I'm in a weak position. Okay, so one behind that bag, one behind that bag. Okay, so all we're looking to do is kneel in front of the bag. Okay, same principle as if we were on the ball. Okay, that's it. Okay, up onto our feet. Okay, and we're looking to push that bag a couple of steps. That's it. And then refine that shape. That's it. Good. Excellent. And again. Good. Don't let those feet come in. Good. Excellent. And again. Go. Okay, what we've got to make sure is that bum doesn't come up when we're pushing. Okay, and again. Go. Okay, you stop when you get there. That's good. Okay, work to the cone. That's it. Keep going. Excellent. Refine that shape. Good. Excellent. That's it. And go again. Good. Find that shape. And one more. Okay, good. Let's the other person have a turn over there. Okay. We've looked at pushing. Now we're going to look at resisting. This works in two things. One, it's a good way of strengthening the body, but also a good way of demonstrating to you the importance of staying in that strong position. So if we think about the position you adopted on the bag and the ball, if you do that. Okay, so remember head to feet process. Okay, up off on your knees. Okay, now if he's in that strong position, if you look, I struggle to move and I'm really strong, okay? But if we get that player out of that strong position, if we just bring his hips up a touch, straight away, it's a lot easier. Can you feel the difference? Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do, in pairs, you're going to go down into that strong position, okay? You come here and you take him, okay? And all I want you to do is to gradually increase it. I don't want you to just go yank it. I want that gradual increase, and as the player who's being pulled, I want you to focus on that process. Feet, knees, hips, scaps, head, okay? And just increase that tension over a period of about 10 seconds. Okay, so off onto your feet. Okay, now gradually increase that pressure. Fight to stay in that position. Don't let your head come out of neutral. That's it. And ease it off. Okay, back off your knees, back onto your knees. Wait 10 seconds. Okay, process again. Remember, we don't need to resist it using strength. If we just by switching on those key areas of our body, we can resist and generate a heck of a lot of force. Okay, so same thing again. Make sure we keep everything in line. Okay, up we go. And increase that force. That's it, go on, go on, go on. You can move them, I'm sure you can move them. That's it, go on. So, same thing again. Okay, you're gonna have 3 pulls at him for about 10 seconds, increasing that load, let him rest for 10 seconds, okay? Remember, we focus on the process at all times. It's not about brute strength, okay? It's about process. You can hold a lot more with good technique than you can with just blind rage, okay? So, onto our knees. So think about the process. Okay, good, excellent. That's it, well done. Yeah, don't be afraid to take your time in that. That's good, excellent. Getting things in line. Okay, up off into your feet. Okay, now increase that pull. Increase that pull. Get your head in neutral. That's it. Get your head in neutral. That's it, go on. Okay, if you look there, because you're going down towards the ground, you want to keep all in line. Okay, so by going down like that, naturally as you were bending your arms, what was happening to your bum? It was going up in the air, so it gives them a point to pivot the body on. If you keep everything in a flat line, all the force will dissipate through the whole body. Okay, so let's think of that. Okay, same process again. Okay, up onto our knees, let them get settled. That's it. Okay, and slowly pull. That's it. Can you see how much stronger you are now? Yeah. Yeah, and you can talk as well while doing it. That's it. Bite through the core and ease it off. Well done. And he's not being easy, he's really giving you a nudge as well. If you haven't got a harness at your club or what have you, you can do it with a towel. So same principle. I'll put this around you here. Okay. If you want to get onto on your hands and knees. Okay, so find that shape, go through that process. Okay, up off into your knees. Okay, and it's the exact same principle again. Okay, fight to stay in that position, and we're putting that force through you. Excellent.